This episode of Says Who is brought to you by you through your support of our Patreon at patreon.com/sayswho. That's our Patreon, where pretty much every Sunday you get this all over again. You get me and Maureen having a little fun time doing a thing we call the Town Watch, which is like a half an hour and usually looser. This one got a little heavy this past week, but usually a real knee slap laugher of a time. That's if you give it the $5 or $10 a month level. That extra $5 in that $10 a month level gets you a sticker sent to you in the mail, designed by me, packed by a 9-year-old, and everyone loves them because they're great. They are great. Anyway, all of that is there for you at patreon.com/sayswho.
I'm giving you a mission, Says Who. Go forth into the world and grab one of my books and grab a random person and say, you, take this. I've been poisoned. And all the evidence for my death is in this book. Only you can save me. And then pretend to die, and then they have to buy the book. That's my new marketing plan. Yeah. That's
Man, think if in, a reasonable amount of time, but you die by mysterious causes, and then people realize that all of your books hold hints towards that final untimely death. Yeah, that would be amazing.
Because it's but I'm going to say it one more time. When any of you recommend a book to a friend or leave a review, you are helping me live and make more stuff. So thank you.
Yeah, it's true.
It is true.
If you want to buy Maureen's book and you want to do it on the internet, there's an option that isn't supporting that giant conglomerate company that's ruining the world. You can go to kickbezosintheballs.org. That's our own little bookshop. And we have quick links to all of Maureen's stuff. We have quick links to stuff I've done. We have a search bar where you can find most books. So kickbezosintheballs.org. And while you're on the internet, while you've connected your modem to the internet, why not go on over to merch.sayswhopodcast.com, where we sell Says Who merchandise, or go to shop.dansinker.com, where I sell some patches. But mostly what I personally would like you to do is to go and listen to the Rebel Spirit podcast, which is the podcast that I am producing with Akilah Hughes. The 7th episode is out right now. It is an amazing and inspiring little deep dive into a high school in Denver. Go check that one out.
Which high school in Denver?
Whole thing. Denver South High School, who used to be the Rebels and are now the Ravens. And we talked to the principal that made that change.
I haven't heard that one yet. So
it just came out. It's great. So go check it out. Rebel Spirit Podcast. That's all of the things.
All right, Dan.
Maureen.
There's some stuff I want to talk about today.
Perfect.
Cover
Great.
List of stuff. So
okay. What? You're just dancing.
Yeah, I just want to enjoy it.
Maureen.
Nobody came here to listen to us talk.
Okay.
They came here to listen to this. So let's just enjoy it.
I don't know that they...
Shh, just enjoy.
I don't...
Just enjoy.
I'm not.
We're not going to talk. We're just going to do this.
But...
Shh.
No one can see you dancing.
Shh. Vibes. It's all vibes now. Hey. Welcome.
Oh, Jesus.
A little sad blink. He tried not to, but his little eyebrows went up and down like wah, wah. to Says Who, the podcast that's not a podcast.
It is a coping strategy. I am Dan Sinker.
And I'm Maureen Johnson. And should I shut this window? Is it loud?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and shut that window?
All right. Sorry, New York.
I don't understand how you have a window open. It's like 40 degrees here.
I like a little breeze to the room, Dan.
It is so GD cold here.
Yeah, it very suddenly got cold.
Yeah, it's wild. I had to do this is the most dad thing I do, Maureen, which is I really push against in the summer when everyone else is asking to turn the air conditioning on. I'm always like, we don't need to turn the air conditioning on. And then when it starts getting cold, I'm always like, we don't need to turn the heat on. But yesterday we had to turn the heat on. It was so goddamn cold in our house. It was like 60 degrees in our house.
Dan, since I became Elsa from Frozen about 10 years ago, I really thrive.
Well, that's good.
I become superpowered.
I do like this temperature, especially when it's not as cold in the house. I like sweater weather. I like putting a hoodie on. I like jeans. Mm-hmm. I like that level of clothing. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, in the summer I can barely stand to wear anything at all. So now I'm like, whew, give me. I'm replacing some sweatpants right now. Finding some good new sweatpants.
All right.
Nice, cozy. I wore a coat this morning when I just walked Dexy. Got my coat out.
Yeah, I've been rocking not like a winter coat, but I have a chore coat that I really like.
Oh,
I rock that chore coat in this kind of weather. It's perfect.
We're not going to need that in LA.
We are not going to need. Well, I mean, we don't know. Could be chilly. Could be cool. Who knows?
No, I'll have a little sweater or something.
Yeah, but the little one, about this time last year, actually it was a little bit earlier. We went to a wedding. And stayed in a hotel. And that hotel had robes in the closet. And the little one was like, what's this for? Robes.
Oh, robes. I thought it's like you open it up and there are a bunch of like medieval thieves.
Yes, exactly. There were robes in the closet.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was a real surprise.
Yikes.
Thankfully, we rolled well on our dexterity saving throw. But no, there were robes in the closet. And he was like, what's this? And Janice was like, oh, you wear it. And he was so enamored. Every time he would walk into the hotel room, then he would put on a robe. And so then we very shortly afterwards got him a robe. And he has been getting up and out of his bed every day and putting a robe on. And it's adorable.
Oh, a little kid in a bathrobe is just the cutest little parcel you've ever seen.
He has it's real fuzzy and warm. No. I get it. Janice was so jealous that I got her the adult-sized version of the same robe for Christmas, I think. And so this morning they were both in their matching robes eating breakfast.
Oh.
And I was like, it's not that cold. But it was. It was that cold.
We're fine.
We're fine. Just put a hat on.
Why don't you put some more newspaper up your sleeve?
Exactly. How are you, Maureen Johnson?
Dan, I've been working on my little projects. Oscar's still away.
Yeah,
so it's really good. It's giving me a chance to really empty everything out without getting, take up all the space, and then I'll have it all put back by the time he gets here.
So when you say working on my little project, you mean reorganizing your home?
Oh, that's what you said.
Okay, what did you say? I missed that.
I didn't say building a bomb.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. That's probably good.
Yes. But also, it's a lot of trying on every bra. It is do these all fit?
I do that all the time.
I know you do.
Yeah.
And that's why mine are all stretched out.
Exactly. I just sneak into your house and try on your bras.
He was here again, wasn't he?
I know.
But things like that, and just purging the stuff and assembling it so it's easy to get dressed, and there's nice, pile, just nice, new, clean, organized, because it really has been like a raccoon has been in here. It's too many things.
Yeah, well, that's part of because you've been so busy and so not at your home a lot.
yeah, and stuff keeps coming in, and yeah, I just feel like, and I always, like I say, usually wake up feeling like I've let everyone down
That's good.
because I'm awake.
Yep.
Although
That's how it
last night
works.
I have been doing a lot of really good reading at night.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
but last night, instead of reading,
Yeah.
I looked on my phone and saw, and this is how it happens. I saw that little video that Russell Brand posted.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, it's really easy to describe. So Russell Brand, alleged person who's committed multiple sexual assaults and has so many people know about it. And
Yeah.
there was an entire Channel 4 documentary about it. He's a bad dude who had, after that came out, he's also, but mostly what he does is like tech bro, like bro weird conspiracy videos.
Yeah. He's a
Uh,
right-wing grifter.
he's a right wing grifter, kind of like a Joe Rogan-y, but like even more griftery,
Yeah.
weirdly. But he had a sudden and complete conversion to Christianity after that
Right.
documentary came out.
Okay.
But last night he filmed a little ad. He had this ad out where he is selling, and I shit you not, Dan, a magic amulet that prevents you from getting signals at the airport.
Perfect.
It is $240.
Oh, sure it is.
And it prevents the signals, although, because he's like, there's all the phones and the wireless and all the signals that are bad and influencing. And he is wearing this amulet, I'm going to just point out, while using and having clipped to his front a wireless microphone.
Right.
So there's that.
It also just seems like in this day and age, even if you're a right-wing nutcase,
Right.
you probably don't actually want to block all of your signals.
No.
Because how would you get your right-wing nutcase
Grift.
feeds?
Exactly. And how will the people listening to you absorb your vibe? It's all vibes now.
Yeah.
I must have watched, it's real short. I must have watched it 20 times. I just couldn't get over it.
That's not a healthy thing to do right before bed, Maureen.
It didn't really affect me as more as I was just kind of I'm like, what is happening with this?
Okay.
This is some real old-fashioned snake oil shit.
There's a lot of that in this world.
And,
in
the
that
fact
world
that,
especially.
just really going right to magic amulet. And he does refer to it as a magic amulet.
Well, why not?
I mean, it's pretty great. It
the thing that seems wild to me about this is it would be extremely easy to disprove.
Yep. It's clearly like a 5G, 5G is,
Right.
He doesn't even say 5G. He just calls it a magic amulet.
It seems like the 5G people, you couldn't keep that up for long. Because that's all the relevant networks now.
Yeah.
Like that there was like a little window with which you could keep a 5G grift going because it wasn't everywhere and on every phone. And now I think we're pretty much past that point. So now it's just got to be signals.
Yeah, usually these things are like supplements.
Right. Yeah, a lot of supplements.
But going right to magic amulet is exciting, and I'm I was excited about the development.
I like it.
I was like, wow, right to magic amulet. Look at that. I don't know. So yeah, I feel like it needs to be contained Ghostbuster style, and we got to get a couple people in jumpsuits to come and suck that thing up and lock it into a firehouse in downtown. But,
Is that firehouse actually a firehouse?
I think it is. Yeah.
It's still there?
Yep.
They got to have hung a Ghostbusters sign in front of it, though, right?
Oscar's gone down. He's seen it. I'm sure I've walked past it.
No, I got to look this up. Ghostbusters Firehouse.
I forget where it is, but I think it's just way far downtown, like way lower east side or something.
Okay. Ghostbusters headquarters. It's right there on Google Maps called Ghostbusters headquarters. There does appear to be a Ghostbusters thing. It doesn't give me any information, though. Thanks a lot. Not helpful.
Thanks a lot, Google.
Thanks a lot.
Shut up, Google.
Okay, Wikipedia.
Okay.
Firehouse Hook and Ladder Company 8 is a New York City Fire Department firehouse fire station located at 14 North Moore Street at its intersection with Varick Street in the Tribeca neighborhood of Manhattan.
Okay.
Its exterior has become famous for its appearance in the supernatural comedy franchise Ghostbusters.
Okay. So it's Varric.
Yeah. There you go. There is a sign, 2021, the Buffalo Ghostbusters. That's a thing.
Okay.
Asked fans from all over the world to raise money for a full-size replica Ghostbusters sign, which it later donated to the firehouse. The sign now prominently hangs outside year-round above the main entrance and is visited often by fans.
You know what? I like that.
I like that a lot.
I like that.
I think that's
that makes
great.
Me,
I like that
yeah.
it's still a working firehouse.
With a Ghostbuster sign on it.
With a Ghostbusters sign. That's fantastic.
Yep. Just
A+ work all around there.
See, best city in the world then.
Not really. How's all your corruption going?
There have been, I believe, some more arrests, but we again are not 100% sure who's running the place.
He hasn't stepped down though.
No, we don't know who's. We can't.
When is your next mayoral election? It's not for a while, right?
50 years from now, Dan. I don't know. That's why I just bought a magic amulet from Russell fucking Brand. I'm willing to try anything.
I'm looking this up. Okay, you have one in 2025. It's going to be held on November 4th, 2025.
So you say.
So, all right, he's just going to hang on. You got a whole nother year with this fucker.
Oh, Daniel.
Maureen-yul.
How are you?
How am I? I'm all right. I think we chatted on the last Town Watch where I realized I'm having my sort of October malaise.
Mm-hmm.
And I think recognizing that pattern was actually very useful. I feel less malaised than before, though. I can still feel it bubbling there, but otherwise I'm good. It's the fall has fully fallen here, and I appreciate that a lot.
I also read the news before going. I was fully absorbed in reading some news, which was a mistake. You got
to put your phone in another room, Maureen, before you go to bed. Come on now.
I know.
That is probably the best quality of life improvement that I did for myself, which is charge my phone in another room at night.
I have it for emergencies. I have one number that's allowed to ring through in the night, and that's my parents.
Right.
So I do feel like I need to keep it close for that.
But you could probably, there's probably a plug in the hallway right outside your room.
Then I'd have to go and get.
Right.
So I'm pretty good about setting it down and then switching over to read.
All right.
Oscar, however, will look at screens. I sometimes wake up and at like 1 a.m. He's like,
I mean, so my thing is I charge it in another room, which is so that I can't fall asleep to it, or what was usually the case, not fall asleep and instead just doom scroll for hours. But I also am an insomniac, and so there's almost always a point in the night where I will then get up and lumber over and get the phone, because I can't just lay there and let my brain go wild for very long. But it helps in the falling asleep for sure for me.
Also,
yeah,
some of my reading apps only seem to work on the phone, like they don't work on other devices.
Okay.
So if I want to read certain books, there's a couple reading apps I have that only seem to work on that operating system well. Otherwise, I could pull out the iPad, but then it would be like a giant glowing thing, and I was like,
big thing.
Then I got a big thing. So
then you got a big thing.
I got a big thing. So
you don't need that big thing.
Reading the news about what is going on generally in the world, and you know what I'm talking about, it fills me with a kind of deep, unbridled, like, it's no goodness.
Mm-hmm. That sounds relevant and accurate. Yes,
it's pretty profound. So yeah, and I would say it would be inappropriate to have any other feelings. I'm like, yeah, embrace that discomfort, because feeling too comfortable around that would be a sign of illness. So
yes, Indeed, things are not great in a lot of places.
We're 3 weeks from the election.
And we are 3
Wait,
weeks, literally
3 weeks?
today. We are 3
Wow.
weeks. We are recording this on Tuesday, the 15th.
You feel the fever pitch in the air, Dan? You feel the 3 weeks, Dan? 3 weeks, 3 weeks.
We are 3 weeks to the day from Election Day. The race is tighter than ever and probably will somehow get tighter. This is especially true in Pennsylvania, where less than 1 point separates the two. And depending on what poll you look at, one might be ahead or the other might be ahead. That's because almost every swing, I think every single swing state is within the margin of error. So we're basically looking at random polls when we're looking at polls now. You know, we're looking at this 1,000 people leaned in that direction, but tomorrow's 1,000 people will lean in the other direction. So it's great. And it also makes sense because Pennsylvania is essentially a must-win state for either of these two. Not a lot of paths to victory that don't lead through Pennsylvania, and everyone knows that. And that's why Donald Trump held a town hall meeting in Oaks, Pennsylvania yesterday. That is a small suburb northwest of Philadelphia. Started as a fairly normal town hall, and by normal, I do mean that within the context of Donald Trump. So he answered 5 questions with essentially unintelligible rants. But then something happened, Morgan. Somebody fainted.
I'm excited.
And they had to pause. And then they started up again and somebody fainted again. So they had to pause again. And then Trump asked, would anyone else like to faint? Which honestly is sort of a funny line. I got to give him credit for that.
I mean, yes. This is, Dan, that is literally what they used to do at my Catholic school when we would have chapel when it was hot and they made us wear our blazers, and then one person would faint and then 2 people would faint, and then after that third thump they'd be like, all right girls, you can take your blazers off.
I remember being very young, and my sister was in like a choir, and going and watching the choir perform. It was in the basement of something, and it was very hot, and it was like a girls' choir or something, and people started fainting on the stage. And I was a kid that always was drawing back then, so I then drew a little comic where people just kept fainting until my sister was the only one running around trying to sing all of the parts. Anyway, Trump asked if anyone else would like to faint. I guess nobody responded. And then there was sort of this odd moment of starting and stopping and saying he was going to take questions, and then finally saying, let's not do any more questions. Let's just listen to music. Let's make it into a music. Who the hell wants to hear questions, right? And then Maureen Johnson, for the next 39 minutes, he stood on stage, awkwardly swaying and doing low-energy jazz hands as music played. Now, we're going to talk about this music in a second, but it is worth a little side note here that this town hall was moderated by South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, who had been on the short list for vice president until she wrote a book where she talked about killing her dog. It is not lost on me that a guy who has made a platform of his campaign a lie about how immigrants are killing dogs invited an actual self-declared dog killer to host his event.
I like it.
She did have to also stand on stage for 39 minutes trying to look engaged and excited.
I don't mind it.
No. Anyway, as campaign spokesperson Stephen Chung wrote later on Twitter, quote, total love fest at the PA Down Hall. town hall, everyone was so excited they were fainting. So real Donald Trump turned to music. Nobody wanted to leave and wanted to hear more songs from the famous DJT Spotify playlist.
We love it.
They just wanted to hear more.
Okay.
So first of all, reports are people were streaming out, throughout.
We're
and
streaming. Oh, streaming out, like leaving.
Leaving. They were
Right.
not streaming the playlist themselves.
They're like,
They were
I want to
leaving.
listen to this in two ways.
There's video of this, and it is hilarious because it is one of those campaign setups where there are people sitting on the stage as well. And you've never seen more bored people at a campaign thing than this. But Maureen Johnson, let's discuss this, quote, famous DJT Spotify playlist.
Oh, let me get a stretch here. All right.
First, perhaps we should discuss the point of a playlist at a rally.
Mm-hmm.
Because, rally music is important. It's used to kind of hype up a crowd. It's used to get them psyched up. It's used them to keep the energy up. That's the point. Keeping the energy up feels especially relevant due to the fact that you're just standing there listening to music for 39 minutes for no real reason.
Dan, what's your walkout music? Off top of your head. Don't overthink it. Because you can change it at some later date, just right now.
I mean, the first thing that came to mind was Welcome to the Jungle.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I'd like it.
You've got that good little guitar riff that opens it. And then you got the scream that he does. That would be pretty great.
How about Sabotage?
This is a good one, too.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That'd be a good one. I mean, or maybe some Billie Eilish, like Bad Guy.
Yeah.
These are all good.
I'm about her career trajectory.
Okay, I love her.
I know, but I feel like now she sort of just makes nondescript music that sounds like everything else. And I feel like she used to make very descript music that sounded only like hers.
I think it's more that more people sound like her.
Okay.
I think it worked the other way around.
Buy that. Okay. All right. I'll buy that.
I think she was always her, and then people like that.
I'm definitely over my skis in this discussion, so I will defer to you there.
She is genuinely. What? Also, I saw the most fascinating. This is going to sound crazy, but it was a fascinating interview. A little bit of interview with Justin Bieber.
Oh, okay.
Who apparently is one of her really good friends.
Okay.
And who is older than her.
Yeah.
And offers her a lot of advice.
Okay.
And he started crying during this interview, and he said, I just want to protect her. I don't want what happened to me to happen to her.
That's sad.
Clearly some terrible things happened to him.
Yes.
I think he was very involved with Diddy.
Oof.
I believe that he was his producer or something. Like, he was very intertwined.
Okay.
So I think some not great things happened to Justin Bieber. And he's like, all those things that happened to me affected my life and made me make all these terrible decisions. And so I do everything I can to protect her.
Wow.
And she can call me anytime. And it was one of those things where you're like, these two? But she's like, he's amazing. He's always there for me. He's like this amazing older brother who gives me all this really great advice to protect me.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, you know what? I fucking love that.
All right.
So I was like, these things you don't think about, but I'm like, he's like, I just want to protect her. And I do everything I can to advise her. And I was like, good on him, Dan.
Well, that's good.
I didn't know anything. I was like the Beeb, but I was like, okay, he's a fully ass grown man now, and he's out there trying to help. So you know what?
All right. Well, good job.
Healing and love to you, Beeb.
Good job, Justin Bieber. But let's get back to the relevant facts here, Maureen.
We haven't started with the playlist yet, Dan. Cracking. I'm ready. We were talking music to walk out to.
Yeah. So the first song that hits. And it's such a banger that they actually play it twice in a row.
In a row.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm ready. I want to be pumped, Dan.
Are you ready?
You're
ready?
I just want to
go. This has been a bit of an awkward event
I want
And
it
they
to be
need to get people back.
loud. Yes.
And they
Ratchet,
hit
let's
him
go.
with Ave Maria twice. You might not remember, it's that banger from Schubert, first released in 1825. Maureen. Ave Maria.
Beautiful.
I thought this was a Christmas song. Is that not a Christmas song?
No, I think it's just a general, like, it was sung generally at, like, services at Catholic school. It would come up.
Okay. So 2 times.
Hey, I love it. Ave Maria. She loves that song.
I bet.
jam to this. This is my jam.
So you hit him with Ave Maria twice.
Okay. Dan, I just want to tell you a brief story.
Okay.
Super short. One time when I was studying in England, they played on, I was listening to BBC radio, and they played Annie Lennox's song Why, which is this beautiful, I love Annie Lennox.
Yeah.
And the DJ just said, you know what? That was so amazing. I'm just going to play it. I loved hearing that so much. I'm just going to play it again. And that was the only time I'd ever heard it on that, except for that time that there was a station that just played, fuck you, I won't do what you told me. Fuck you, I won't do what you told me. Rage Against the Machine.
Okay.
They only played that for like 24 hours.
Yeah.
There's something very powerful about doing that.
Yeah.
And if you time that wrong, it is genuinely the weirdest thing you can possibly do. Because it just makes everyone think that they're in like a weird time loop.
Yes. Well, I think that would probably feel especially true if it's Ave Maria twice.
It's you just think you've missed something in time, and that it messes with your sense of what is happening and where beginnings or ends happen.
So he follows that up.
All right, I'm ready. Maybe that was just a little like relax. Now the lights have gone down.
Yeah.
Let's hit me. Hit me, Dan.
He hits him with Italian opera singer Andrea Bocelli singing Time to Say Goodbye, which is also weird because it's the second of 10 songs. Maybe if it was the last one, you could clear a room with some opera. When in a different lifetime, I ran a journalism nonprofit. And one of the things that we did was a conference every year. They still do it, called SourceCon. And we ran it in this really beautiful space at the University of Minnesota. And we had a hard out. If people stayed past 10 o'clock, we would get an exceptionally large amount of money that we would have to pay. And we kept asking people to leave, and people would not leave. And then we stumbled on how to clear a room in less than 30 seconds.
Ooh, I'm excited. What song is it?
Blast the grindcore band Pig Destroyer as loudly as possible. It is amazing. And so that became our signature move, was eventually the night would end by blasting Pig Destroyer, and everyone would just filter out immediately. Anyway.
Dan.
Yeah.
Realize now that we're talking about how many minutes? How long's Ave Maria? Maybe 5 minutes?
Probably, at least.
And the time to say goodbye is a real...
Yeah.
So I feel like we're 15 minutes into...
We're probably 10, 15 minutes in. I think that Ave Maria, the first time they played it was the first set of faintings.
Okay.
And so I don't think that counts in your 39 minutes straight. But so we
All
get
right.
like, I think we're, 5-6 minutes of Ave Maria, probably.
So he
Then-
played fainting music?
Mm-hmm. Well, during the sort of the lull, while I think the first person was being tended to,
Right.
they put a little music on.
Can I just say that attending Trump rallies is okay. No, this is no. People have been shot.
Yeah.
People faint. People just
Yeah.
got abandoned the other day at Coachella
Yeah.
because he didn't pay for the buses to take them home.
Yeah.
Herman Cain died after catching
did.
COVID at one.
Yeah.
Like it's not safe.
So we get Time to Say Goodbye, which, again, decent thematically if it's the last song, not the last song, immediately follows that up. This is, so he has done...
Is this the theme you want? Are these the feelings you want to show just about how these are kind of funereal songs?
Yes, very much so.
Okay.
If anything, yes, this is sort of a theme, I would say, for all of it, because he follows that up with James Brown. Now, you might say, oh, well, James Brown, okay, like, I feel good. Like, we're
turning it around.
We're popping the
All
crowd.
right.
Instead, he plays
Everyone
It's a
loves him.
Man's World, which is not one of James Brown. It's a very, very good song, but it is not upbeat.
No.
It is sort of a very, it is the way Brown delivers it. It is very sad. Like, he is heartbroken in a lot of ways. It's, but
It sounds like defeat. It sounds like defeat.
It does. And yet, I mean, I think I get why he would pick it based on title.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Lines up with his general worldview. But so far, we have had 2 renditions of Schubert, an opera song, and then a very slow, very sad James Brown song.
If you don't know, it's a man.
Yeah, it's a man's world. And then he's like, but it wouldn't be nothing without a woman or a girl. Right? It's a great song.
Yeah.
But not your rally pick, not your James Brown rally pick. You got a lot of options there.
Mm-hmm.
That is not one of them. But for the famous DJ T playlist, that's one of them. So naturally,
Also, Dan, his name is naturally DJ T.
Yeah, DJ T, baby, on the
shit,
the 1s and 2s. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He didn't even have to try. His name has a built-in. How did we never realize his name is a built-in DJ?
He's a built-in DJ name.
Holy shit. Dan, this is huge. This explains everything.
Yeah.
He's a morning DJ.
Well, I don't know if he's a morning DJ, because that's not like, usually then you're like, we're the Buckaroos. Hey, I'm the fart. Yeah.
Wait, if you're the fart, what am I? Lady Big Buckets. Hey, it's Lady Big Buckets and the fart on the 1s and 2s.
Welcome to Says Who with Lady Big Buckets and the fart.
Hey, the fart. Last night I was cooking dinner and I couldn't even see the pan because of my big bucket.
Right. All right.
We are fucking children.
So you've got 2 renditions of a Schubert song.
Okay.
You've got an opera song.
Right.
You've got a very slow, quite mournful James Brown song.
Let's go.
Naturally, you follow that up with YMCA. So that is, I would say, the best attempt in the whole playlist to hype the crowd up. I've watched the video. He does not do the relevant hand gestures.
Dan, I've probably told you the story of how, as a child, I was somehow given a copy of one of the original, possibly the first Village People albums.
Okay.
And I became obsessed with it and used to run around singing it. And I knew all the lyrics to all the songs.
Nice.
One of which is called, there's San Francisco. But there's also Fire Island.
Wow.
Fire Island. Don't go in the bushes. Someone might stab you. Someone might stab you.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. So I would run around singing Fire Island
Yes.
about how don't go in the bushes. Someone might stab you. Someone might stab you. Don't go in the bushes. Yeah. San Francisco, YMCA, in the
Yeah.
Navy.
Yeah.
They came to jam.
Oh, they definitely came to jam.
And it will never cease to delight me because they fucking rule. All right. We are starting to pick up the energy a little bit.
So we're picking up the energy. We bring
Let's
YMCA.
go.
I'm sure that went over after a lot of sadness.
Okay, let's go.
YMCA immediately, boom, right into Rufus Wainwright covering Hallelujah.
Jesus Christ.
When that track hit, DJ T yells, "All right, turn that music up. Turn that up. Great song."
First of all, Rufus Wainwright will eat his lunch about this because Rufus wants no part of this bullshit.
No.
Rufus Wainwright has the most goddamn beautiful voice.
Yes.
I mean, it is his voice is so unspeakably beautiful.
Yeah.
That song is literally a funeral song.
Yes.
I have heard that song at a funeral, so I can't listen to it anymore because I only associate it with that funeral.
Yeah.
It is beautiful. Everything about this, aside from YMCA, these are all funeral songs, Dan.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
I am angry that he has a Rufus Wainwright song there. How
Sure.
dare you leave Rufus alone? Rufus did nothing to you.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're hang on to your big buckets, Maureen.
Whoa, hey, I can't even see this playlist over these big buckets.
Because the next song is Nothing Compares to You.
You get your hands off Sinead. You get your goddamn hands off Sinead. You leave her alone.
Yeah.
You don't get near Sinead.
Yeah.
You leave her the fuck alone.
Yeah.
Sinead. Beautiful Sinead.
Yeah.
Beautiful Sinead. I get very emotional about Sinead.
Yes, correct. Me too. And somehow this fucker puts that song. Now, like you mentioned, Rufus Wainwright wants no part of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently this song has been on the playlist for a while. Both the Sinead O'Connor and Prince estates, because Nothing Compares to You is written by Prince.
Yes.
Have sent cease and desist orders to the fucking campaign.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't matter. They still keep playing it.
You know why I think he likes that song?
Because he believes that nothing compares to him.
No, I think that was the biggest song in the year that he felt most in control. That was one of the biggest songs of I think it was 1991 or 1992. And I think he's permanently fixed maybe around then.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know. That's my theory. It
was released in 90. So
90.
I mean, you're right. I don't know. I think that most of these songs are picked largely based on the title. And I think
YMCA?
Well, that one he picked because he likes it.
He heard at a wedding.
Yeah, or one time.
It's true. I mean, I can see the, Nothing Compares. Yeah, all right.
But that song is also a fucking bummer.
So why Time to Say Goodbye then?
But I think he genuinely likes opera, and I think he likes show tunes.
You think he likes opera?
I think he does.
You think Donald Trump likes opera?
Well, I mean, I think he likes opera in the way that he likes anything. He thinks it's expensive, and it's what people that have money like.
All right, that's what I think. I think it's the kind of thing that he plays in the lobby of his building.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it gives it makes it feel, it's like calling something luxury.
Right, and it's cheaper than hiring a piano player.
Right. What are these?
But it gives the same effect.
Luxury rocks.
Yeah.
Like my luxury trash can.
Exactly.
Right. This is my luxury music.
So the man fucking just absolutely desecrates the grave of Sinead O'Connor and Prince. By the way, if you've never seen the version of Prince, this was released after the fact. There is video footage of him and the Revolution in their practice space where he shows up and is like, here, we're going to play this song I just wrote, and it's Nothing Compares to You. And it is fucking amazing. Is it as good as Sinead? No, but it is amazing. It is revelatory to see that performance. So go check that out. But anyway, so
And
he
also,
follows.
while you're there, watch a bunch of Sinead, because that woman did the work.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That woman did the work, and she suffered. Because
and
I'm
then
going to say
all
it.
the work.
I'm going to say it, Dan. She was one of the first and only people that would stand up against sexual abuses in the Catholic Church, and for that, she was mercilessly punished, and her career crushed under 1,000 piles of rocks.
Correct.
She was a brave woman.
Yes.
She suffered a lot, and I fucking love her. And that song is a dirge, and her voice is amazing.
Yes.
You leave her the fuck alone.
Yes.
Sorry,
Well, you follow that one up with Elvis. And again, you might say, okay, well, there are, I guess, a lot of upbeat Elvis songs in the world, but this is late era Elvis, a melody of old-timey American songs called An American Trilogy.
See, I don't know this song.
I sat through it. So it is extremely down tempo.
Okay.
And it starts with so the first of the like trilogy bits is the song that if you were singing it normally is the like way down south and right, like that one. This it's like way down south, and then there's a little choir that sadly sings, I wish I was in Dixie. So that's great. I mean,
racist and sad?
Yes,
in
exactly.
this economy?
I know. So you get that. Also, side note, it does me a great deal of pleasure to realize that in 2024, I'm not sure there is an musical artist, less relevant than Elvis. I'm thrilled about that. When we grew up, like Elvis was still quite big and popular, and that was like a real moment. There was also a lot of kind of camp stuff where he wasn't dead and, you know, all of that. Now, who thinks about Elvis? Nobody. I love it.
I mean, you dislike him?
Yes.
I don't like him either.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really tell you why.
I think one, there's just sort of the cultural hegemony that he had for a very long time.
And there is some
but then there's also
stuff.
the just sort of white face on black songs. Shit that is to me the main reason to dislike Elvis, because there are a whole lot of artists that he fucked over. And I mean, he was like a teenage kid. I mean, it's really fucking the Sun Records dude that fucked him over, and Colonel whoever.
Parker.
But yeah, just all of that. It's distasteful.
And I think there's some domestic stuff that isn't too great either.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was not. Yeah, he was not a great person.
Unquestionably a beautiful voice.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, a very good voice. Yeah. I have been to Graceland.
I've been outside of Graceland and then have realized I don't need to go into Graceland.
I didn't want to go in. I was there with a friend who desperately wanted to go, so I went.
Yeah.
And it is bonkers.
Yeah, I believe that.
Truly, it's so much more bonkers than you think it is.
Yeah.
He had his whole crew called the Taking Care of Business crew that was basically a bunch of heavies.
That's what I like. He has their planes are parked there, and they have TCB on the tail, which is pretty sweet, actually.
And you can go in but it's just like there's a whole room full of like clown statues.
Sure.
It's all frozen in 1977, so it's like there's a room that's all like moss green, plush carpet, lots of moss green furniture, weird like rag dolls all around. Then there's the yellow and black clown room that has 3 embedded televisions in the wall. Like, it's wild. It looks like a Stanley Kubrick film. It is nuts.
I love it.
But it does feel like you time travel. All right. Pick it up. Let's go.
All right. So
I'm ready to go.
This is probably the only actually relevant track that probably most people in the room got excited to hear. Follow it up with the new country song, Rich Men of North Richmond by Oliver Anthony. It's the Rich Men of North Richmond in that song. It means Washington, D.C. He's been picked up by sort of, far right folks and the GOP as, sort of their relevant song.
It won't surprise you to know that I don't know that. I have a particular dislike of contemporary country that
it's not. So this is more of he's a little bit more of a throwback kind of roots country performer. The song itself it's not like overproduced Nashville bullshit. Like, it sounds pretty good. I think I read a thing once that basically said like he's a little bit taken aback by the song being so, but he's not very taken aback by it.
I can really name on one hand the country performers are like Dan, Dolly,
yeah,
Johnny Cash,
yeah,
Graham Parsons.
Okay,
I think that's it.
All right,
Emmylou Harris. I guess she counts.
Yeah, she definitely counts.
I really don't. And even then, it's kind of hard because that's not my style of music.
All right, that's fine.
Okay.
Completely,
but again,
completely fine.
But
that song also not upbeat. It's a single solo guitar, sad song about being, the forgotten man, essentially. Follows that one up.
Okay, let's go down. I'm ready to pump. Pump.
You asked me what was my walk-on music, and I said Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, welcome to the jungle. Yeah, let's go.
So they do. They hit Guns N' Roses. They hit a little GNR. They play November Rain, the 9-minute-long ballad that features 3 separate guitar solos. 9 minutes. This is 9 tracks in. And you suddenly realize you're there for a 9-minuter.
Hey, Dan, can I just say, imagine you're at a high school dance.
Yeah.
And this somehow, you're like, okay, you're ready for the transition of each song is so critical because it's like, can we dance, or is there going to be some slow dance bullshit where everybody is then forced into and slow dance?
Yeah.
All right. And you're like, okay, take a deep breath, everyone. And slow dance. Everybody find a part. Look around the room. Scan the room. Look in everybody's eyes.
Yeah.
Look in my eyes, Dan. In the cold November rain. It's real dramatic.
There's such an amazing scene in the incredible television show Freaks and Geeks, where the main character, who's this kind of nerdy, he's one of the geeks, who has had a crush on like one of the popular girls in school. And he goes to the dance all alone, or he goes with his nerdy friends, I think. And he's kind of working up the courage to ask her to dance throughout. And then he finally, the Styx song, Come Sail Away, comes on, which starts out, I'm sailing away. It starts out a slow song, and he's like, this is it. This is perfect. I'm going to ask her to dance. And he goes over, and he asks her if she wants to dance, and she says yes, and they make their way out to the dance floor just as it kicks into the fast part.
Oh, yeah. That song transitions into like...
Yeah. It's just such a wonderful little scene. Anyway...
And Dan, now working on your theory, this is just he's searched songs with like winning, rich, and this is because it's November, right?
Oh, yeah, you're right. That is it.
That's it. That's the whole reason.
Yep, that is why. November. I didn't think about that. That was very astute. That was a writerly eye.
Hey, there you go.
You got it.
Then I'm puzzled by what's going to come next.
Well, this is the last song.
Okay, let's bring it in.
This is the walk-off.
Okay.
Following 9 minutes of Slash vamping on the guitar, you wrap it up with Memory from Cats.
Okay. All right. Dan, we got to talk for a second.
Sure.
First of all, in terms of the theme, I'm lost. Like, I don't know why. Memory, Midnight, All Alone on the Pavement.
Well, see, this one, I feel like this is your theory of Nothing Compares to You. Is this was a hit song at his highlight, right?
Right.
This was a hit song at his highlight. right?
Yeah.
This was what, early 80s, Andrew
80
Lloyd Webber,
82, 83.
Broadway
Yeah.
anew, and this
Broadway
is
juggernaut.
right, like and just like breathing new life into Broadway, right? And this is for Donald Trump, like 1982. This is his like.
Mm-hmm.
I made a mention the other day because JD Vance was asked repeatedly about whether or not he believes that they lost the 2020 election. He just kept repeating that same fucking line that he gave at the debate, which is we're focused on the future, right? Which is the most absolute hilarious line possible about Donald Trump, because that man lives his entire life inside the like VIP lounge at the Roxy that he wasn't invited into in 1982, right? Like, I firmly believe that this man is completely stuck in 1982. And like that Randy Travis song. See, unlike you, Maureen, I really like country music, and that is a great song. Randy Travis's 1982 Operator. This came out in the mid 90s. Please connect me to 1982. It's all about how he has these regrets about losing this woman in 1982. And so he's like just constantly trying to be connected. It's also hilarious because it couldn't possibly, like, he's calling the operator and asking to be connected. He's sending there must be a special kind of stamp, like that kind of thing. It's not relevant to our current era of communication, but boy, that's a great song. I love that song. Anyway, he is stuck in 1982. And so it makes sense to me that Cats and Memory, that's a big one for him. Plus, he does like show tunes. We know that. Memories.
All alone in the moonlight. Has the moon lost her memory? She is smiling alone.
Isn't there a line in that that's like, I remember the old days, I was beautiful then? That's his whole thing. His whole thing is, I remember the old days, I was beautiful then. That's it. He just lives with the memory of when he was beautiful.
Sung by Grisabella.
And when he was beautiful was in New York City in the early 80s, when everyone was doing lines of coke off of other people, and he was just having affair after affair. That is his highlight.
Can I just tell you one of the many things that annoys me right now?
Sure.
On the dead site that you're no longer on, a lot of people are saying, come on, everybody, it's obvious. It's obvious. They're just waiting, that the Republicans are just, their whole plan with JD Vance is they're just waiting for Trump to die or be removed so they could get Vance. And I'm like, fuck you. There's no plan.
No, there's no plan.
That's not a plan.
No.
Of course, if he dies, whoever's coming, that's just how things work.
Yeah, that's how things work.
That's just how, like, if one person goes, then this is what you get. This is it.
Yeah,
this guy.
Yeah.
This guy who just did that weird. It's kind of like Tyrannosaurus arms.
Yeah, he does a little Tyrannosaur arm dance for sure. He kind of
lifts his arms up at the elbow and just kind of goes.
Yeah.
And just a little, it's like his arms are really into his body. Yeah.
He sways side to side.
Like that.
And he moves his arms.
And he kind of cocks his head off to the side and makes a little something.
Yeah.
And then the little shoulder shrugs like that. It's a weird dance.
It is a very weird dance.
The guy's not well. He's increasingly not well.
Yeah.
And I think his head's going to pop off.
I mean, if only.
Like a cork.
I don't subscribe to any relevant conspiracy theories except one, which I think it has solidified for me over the course of this last summer. And it is this: that man will never die. He will be alive forever. I think that his body battery theory is true.
On that terrible site,
he will never die.
On that terrible site last night, I saw a massive long tweet.
You gotta get off that site. You gotta get off that
You know
site.
the rich guy that is trying to live forever, so he only eats weird nutrient
Peter
packs
Thiel?
until
The other guy. Yeah.
and he gets his son's blood.
Right. Yeah.
He posted this thing about getting a total plasma swap
No.
and all these machines he's hooked up to. And he's like, and he said literally, he's like, so I'm no longer getting the boy blood from his, and then he tags his son. And I'm like, I wanted to say, and I'm just thinking it, and I'm like, are we all thinking the same thing? Are we all thinking we just want to see a piano fall in the sky? Like just something that's like, squash.
You gotta get off that
like
side, Maureen.
I know.
It's not good. It's not
But
good.
that guy
it's not
is
good for you.
But his whole thing is trying not to die.
No, I'm having an intervention right now.
I need to get all. I need.
Are you buying and reading J.K. Rowling books?
No.
Why?
Because well, you mean her new ones?
Any?
No.
Are you gifting them to people?
No.
Are you talking about things that happen in them?
Here's the thing. J.K. Rowling is not a conduit to friends of mine. Like, I don't have to go through her to talk to people.
Sure she is. There are a lot of people. You at one point had relevant friends and worlds that were intersecting with J.K. Rowling's worlds, right?
And then I forcibly stopped doing anything.
Exactly. So you can find those friends other places. This is a bad place run by a bad man who is actively working to elect Donald John Trump, who is vehemently anti-trans, who is getting actual immigrants killed. He is not good by like J.K. Rowling is like a walk in the park compared. Gotta get off. People need to stop with this shit.
All right, I'm trying to get everybody. Okay, I'm trying to get everybody over.
But the thing is, everyone won't go over. If you wait for everyone to go over, then you're never going. Right?
He's really going out.
You got to lead the way. You got to go. You got to go. It's awful. He is horrible.
Okay.
And everyone on there is horrible. And there is no relevant, good conversation happening there. All that surfaces is awfulness.
Okay.
It's time.
All right. I'm trying.
All right. I'm just having an intervention.
I'm trying, Dan.
All right. All right. Gotta get off.
Dan, trying.
He's terrible.
All right. Except I got these big buckets, you know?
Hey!
All right. Well, Says Who is brought
let me just quickly tell you another story, which is relevant to this, which is a few, actually now, I guess it was a month or two ago. It was the 20th anniversary of when the Dave Matthews Band emptied their tour bus over the Chicago River on a grated bridge. And so all of his shit and piss fell onto a tour boat that was traveling directly beneath it. The hilarious writer, Samantha Irby, held a party at the Hideout, my very favorite club in all of Chicago, to mark it. And Samantha Irby, who, if you have not read her stuff, she's an amazing essayist.
Very, very funny.
Many of them have to do with her having IBS. And so this was sort of and Crohn's disease. So it was a benefit for the Crohn's Disease Foundation. And all attendees got a little gift bag, and that gift bag included like butt wipes and a couple other things and a little mini whoopee cushion. And that little mini whoopee cushion has been sitting around at our house and somehow got sort of buried under stuff on one of our tables. And we were cleaning off the table, and it popped up, and it was, I think, breakfast time. And I saw it, and I turned to the little one and I said, "I'm about to change your life."
Oh.
And I inflated the whoopee cushion and I sat on it. And nothing has been the same since, Maureen.
Oh my gosh.
It is amazing. It's not the best whoopee cushion in the world because it's quite small, so you only get a little like out of it. But man, that is high art for him.
You're a good dad.
He's always like, like today, in fact, he came walking up and he went, "Can you stand up for a second?" Like all sort of nonchalant. I'm like, "Sure." And then I sat down, and he always believes it. He's like, "Did you know I was doing that?" I'm like, "Nope." He's like, anyway.
That's like what I do to Oscar.
I
Did
kind
you
of want
know?
to get, they make those like self-inflating whoopee cushions, which are great. And I think one of those might end up in his Christmas stocking this year.
You're a good dad.
Then all bets are off there. Anyway, Says Who is made possible by you through your support of our Patreon at patreon.com/sayswho. That's where you can often get this all over again. Me and Maureen doing a little thing we call the Town Watch on Sundays. That's if you give it the $5 a month level, an extra $5 on top of that gets you a sticker in the mail every month because you become a member of the Says Who Sticker Club. They're always great. Our theme music was performed by Ted Leo. Our logo was designed by Darth. You can contact us at Says Who Podcast on Threads, at Says Who, at omfg.town on Mastodon, or you can always email it, hey, that is HEY, at SaysWhovPodcast.com. You can join the discussion on Facebook at /group/SaysWhovians. Our Facebook group is moderated by Janice Dillard. There's also the fan-run Discord server at tinyurl.com/sayswhodiscord. Whatever you do, please spread the word, subscribe, leave stars and reviews on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever it is that you listen. And you can join us next Wednesday, October 23rd, for our very next episode. From my basement in Chicago, I am Dan Sinker.
And from best city in the world, New York City. That's right, baby. I'm Maureen Johnson.
And this has been Says Who with...
Whoa!
What was your name?
Big Buckets.
Mrs. Big Buckets?
Just
Something?
Big Buckets, I think.
With Big Buckets and the fart.
Stop it. You're such a people are gonna stop listening, Dan.
It's okay. It's over.
Bye.